Hi, I'm Eva from amomandhercar.blogspot.com, and this is my second Flosstube. And the first thing I want to say today is just thank you so much for all the kind and supportive comments that so many people left on my first video last week. I kind of thought I would just make these videos and maybe my kids would watch them and nobody else, but I got such a great response and I'm very, very appreciative. I couldn't believe just how supportive everyone was, and one of my goals for doing these videos was being more part of the community of cross stitchers, and I definitely feel like it after the support that you all gave me from my first Flosstube video. So thank you very, very much. The other thing, another reason I'm doing these videos is to learn more and get better and hold myself accountable. And to that end, I got some really great tips. So you may want to read the comments from last time, but I want to highlight a few that I jotted down. So first of all, Sarah James mentioned a frame that she got off Etsy from the Cheeky Sheep Wood Shop, and I'll link that in the show notes below. I was talking in my video last week about the Sampler of the Month series by Cottage Needleworks, and I'm going to frame those. And so she mentioned a frame she got from this Etsy shop, and I think I'm going to order that frame. So I appreciate you pointing that out and enabling me in that way. So I'll put that in the link below for anybody else who wants to order. So thank you, Sarah. And then Renee Bebla, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, please correct me in the comments if I am. But she talked about several things to help me, especially I'm just now starting on the higher fabric counts, like 36, 40. And so she mentioned good lighting. She uses the Bright Tech light, so I'll look that up and try to put that in the show notes as well. I do have an Ott light, but I'm not sure if it's bright enough, so I'm open to other options. And she also mentioned some magnifying glasses. I did order some Amazon just readers. They're fine, but I need to actually do an eye doctor appointment. I had LASIK surgery after my second child, but I can tell I'm getting older and it's probably time to go back to the eye doctor. Anyways, Renee mentioned to take your cross stitching with you to the eye doctor and show them what you're doing. And I thought that was a great tip. I would have never thought of that otherwise. And so I'm going to do that as well. So thank you so much for those tips. Renee also told me about 2 cross stitch shops, and I'm kind of laughing because I've already ordered from one, which I'll show you today. So that's a little dangerous, but thank you so much. They had great customer service. So I'll talk more about that in just a minute. And the other thing I've been thinking about is I think I'm going to, whenever possible, I'm going to start a giveaway on my videos each week, because I've been sitting around thinking, what do I like about my favorite Flosstubers? And for the most part, what I like about, my favorite Flosstube channels are that they share their stitching and they give me ideas and they enable me, and I have a long list of stitches that I want to start. But the other thing I like are giveaways. Like there's just an excitement and a funness, and even when I don't win, I usually at least add that chart to my list, and I'm excited about somebody else winning. And so I just wanted to add a little bit of that excitement. So I'll try it for a few weeks, and if it's maintainable for me, then I'll keep just a little giveaway every week. So I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. So the big point is thank you all so much for your support and your great comments. I was really overwhelmed and touched by all of the kindness that you showed me. So thank you very much. So on to stitching. Last week I said, and each week I set stitching goals for myself. That's just how my brain works. And I set, I'm looking at my charts over here, which I'll pop up on the videos. I set 2 finishes as a goal. I had 2 pieces that were really close to being done, 1 start, and then make a little progress on my whip rotation. So I didn't quite get that done. Again, part of these videos are to hold me accountable. I did get 1 finish, which I'll show you. I had 1 almost finish, and I did make a little bit of whip progress. I had some late work nights this week, so I couldn't stitch as long as I wanted in the evenings. And I had a mom camping trip planned. So here's a picture from my little camper out at the lake. We're camping families. We have an RV, and we had a big Yellowstone trip last summer, which was great during COVID because we could still do it COVID safely. Anyhow, some moms and I decided to get together and do a moms only camping trip. And our plan was not what we didn't have plans about what we would do on this little camping trip. Instead, we had plans about what we wouldn't do. And so those of you who are caregivers to young ones can probably understand. It's nice to not have to wake up and figure out what's for breakfast for someone, or worry about someone's potty schedule, or, you know, just kind of be a little selfish and sit around and not do some of those things. And so in my head, I thought I was going to get a ton of stitching done without all these interruptions, but frankly, I just enjoyed, it was chilly out. I live in Texas, so it's not cold like many of you have, but it was a little chilly. So we started a fire, the moms and I, and we chatted, and sometimes we just sat and stared at the fire, and we went on a hike, a nice long hike. We got a little lost in the woods because of me, actually. But it was nice. Like, there were no complaining children or feeding children. We could eat whatever we want. We could eat whenever we wanted. So all that to say, I didn't get all the stitching done that I wanted this week, but it's fine because I feel really refreshed and ready to go, both work-wise, mom-wise, wife-wise, and a big shout out to my husband who really enabled this and came and helped me set up the camper and picked me up and took care of the kiddos and all the stuff at the house and didn't miss a beat. So anyhow, that was my fun weekend. On to stitching, which is why you're here. So I currently have now 5 starts and 4 finishes. I have 10 current whips. That's cheating a little because I got a new whip in the mail, but I'm not going to put it on here until it gets kitted up to kind of keep my numbers reasonable. I have a lot of starts coming up, but I did have a finish. So I mentioned these Cottage of the month. So I am doing the Country Cottage Needleworks Sampler of the month. Sorry, this is not Cottage of the month. This one's called Sampler of the month. This is February. These are so much fun. All the little cakes, I didn't change anything. I'm using the classic Colorworks. This is 32 count, beautiful beige from Wichell. I ordered this as a kit from Fat Quarter Shop. I think they're sold out, but what they did is they sent 6 months worth of fabric and a cutting guide. So I already did January, and this fabric's great. I like working on this linen. It's a very easy switch if anybody's trying to go from Aida to some of the higher count linens. This 32-inch which Holt is a great, easy, nice, even weave. So this is a blank one. This will be for March, and then I have a couple more of those. And so it's really nice and handy. They just mail me the chart every month, and I already have the floss. And then I'm assuming at the 6-month mark that they will send us more fabric. And they sent us all the threads at once, which was really nice because thread is so hard to find the exact color that you want. And so it's nice to know that I have what I need each month for these projects. The second project that I worked on this week is my Sew by Row. So this is one I thought I would have finished before the video today. I will have this finished by tonight, I think. I hope, surely. So I joined, this is a stitch along, both the Happy Little Stitch Shop and Fat Quarter Shop are doing the stitch along. They're going at a little bit different rates. Even if you haven't started, I highly recommend this one. This is one of those stitches that is just a joy to do. It's not hard. It's pretty, happy colors. I'm using the DMC. She also has a Weeks Dye Works conversion, but I went with the DMC for this one. I'm using 25 count Cloud Lugana, which is a nice, easy cloth to stitch on, and it is very substantial. Like, it's a nice, thick, soft cloth. And the only thing, oh, my needle's coming out. The only thing I have left are the little fabrics at the bottom. And so I'm just doing one color at a time. I got this idea from Kimberly Jolly's Flosstube on Fat Quarter Shop, where she just picks one color and goes and put them. I was a little nervous that I would get off doing that, but so far it's been fine. So I hope it continues to be fine. But again, this one, I really like this. And I didn't expect to, I just sort of, I don't know, it was cute, so I grabbed it and there was a stitch along. But I really, really, really look forward to this. As a matter of fact, I'm ahead on the stitch along because I enjoy doing this pattern so much. And I think I could frame it and hang it in here This is my office. It's sort of, I heard somebody on, I got to start writing these things down, but I heard someone on Instagram talk about their croffice, so craft office, and that's kind of what this room is becoming. And so I think it would be great to put in a pretty frame and hang in this room. Okay, so then my whip progress. So how I structure it is every morning I get up a little early, I have my tea, and I put at least one thread of floss into an older whip that's not one of my focus pieces. And then in the evening, I work on what I call my focus pieces. So this was my whip rotation. This is, oh, sorry, let me show you the chart. This is Happy Halloween by Sue Hillis Design. I got this from Happy Little Stitch Shop. I saw it, and I'm a sucker for Halloween. I said that last time, and you'll see I have a lot of Halloween stitches. So I don't know, I just love Halloween, and I just think they're some of the cutest stitches around. You can get sophisticated Halloween, you can get cutesy, anyhow. So I decided to stitch this, and so I'm just kind of squeezing it in wherever. And I have no goal. I mean, if it takes me a while, it takes me a while. But this week, for sure, I wanted to get this banner all the way across. I had done the Hello Halloween words before. I can't remember when. So I just wanted to get this all the way across. And it was actually a lot of floss. Like if I had just done one a day, this would have taken me quite a while. I didn't realize it so much. These are little 4x squares, but they go all the way across. And this is 14 count fabric flare. I've gotten a lot of comments on Instagram on this fabric. Fabric flare is the fabric that's just plain white on the back, and then they screen print it on the front. So there's all kinds of fun colors and patterns. And I actually like stitching on this too. It's not as crunchy as some Ada. I think this also comes in like a 32 count even weave as well. So anyhow, this is a really good, cute option. If you want sort of that hand-dyed look, and they just have all kinds of cute choices. So that's Ginger Snap 14 count fabric flare. I'm using the called for DMCs on that one as well. So what I didn't get to this week, which will be my focus for next week, is my Spooky Hallow. So let me pull this one out. I am doing this Spooky Hallow all on one piece. This is more fabric flare. This is 18 count Ada hazy gray fabric flare. And I'm doing this whole scene. This is by Little Stitch Girl, and it's called Spooky Hallow. And a lot of people do these separately. Somebody commented on the video, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, last week, that they're doing these individually, and I've seen it that way, and they're super cute. I don't know why I decided to do it together. I don't know, I just thought I'd try. And she has this free border, the Welcome to Spooky Hallow and the little bats and little black border. She has that free on her website. So I just downloaded that, and I haven't done the whole border. What I do is when I get to a piece, I just do the border down. So when I get to this piece, for example, I'll finish that border out. And right now I'm on the middle pieces, so I don't have to worry about a border. And so my next piece is the library, which I love. I love reading. It's so cute. There's also this really pretty orange, what color is that? Maybe it's Colonial Copper. The building is Colonial Copper, I believe. And so I think the variegated orange on this will be really pretty. And I'm excited to do that ghost at the top. So this will go on my scene right here. I'm not very good at holding this up, but right next to the pumpkin park. So I'm excited about this. These do take me longer than I expected. So they don't look very big, but I'm also using 18 count thread, and they're quite detailed. Like even just the stone path, I mean, it takes me a few nights of stitching. Because each of these, this is like 3 or 4 different colors of gray, which is what makes it look so cute. But that all the changing and kind of getting that right takes a little bit of focus. And so they take me just a little longer. So this will probably be my focus piece for 2 weeks. My whip goals for my other pieces are, I want to work on my sampler. So I showed this last week, and I want to put more stitches in it. Let me pull this out. So this is my Peace and Health sampler by My Lady's Needle. So this is what I've done so far. I didn't work on this at all this week, and so I want to pull it back out. This will be my morning, with my morning tea, put a thread in. I'm going to continue these flowers. So this week, my hope is to get these flowers, just 3 more flowers in the row. Let's see if I can pull out the picture of the chart so I can show you. This is 32 count parchment. This was my first ever project on linen, not even weave, but linen, and it is challenging for me. I love it. I love just the feel of the cloth is so different from Ada, but it's challenging. It takes lots of focus. So let me orient myself here. Okay, yes. So that little yellow flower, I'd started a little bit, and I want to get these next, I believe it's 3 or 4 flowers done this week. And then I'll pull it back out at some other time. I am using the converted, but called for DMC. These colors are beautiful. I said this last week, but I wish I would have gotten the silks that it's called for. But at the time, and this was like a year ago when I'd first started, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stick with cross stitching. And I don't, if you ever see kit prices, it'll be like $50 or $60 for the DMC and $120 for the silk. And so I just decided to get the DMC. So I love the sampler. Even with the DMC, the colors are still really pretty, but I am interested in doing a sampler with some silks, maybe a what's it called? Hands Across the Sea, I think, Nicola. I'm probably messing all that up, but I would love to do one of her samplers with the silks that she uses, and so that's kind of on my very long list of hopeful starts one day. The other WIP, if I get to it, I have Mistletoe Lane. This is just a paper PDF, and I know I can use, I have a tablet right here with my notes on it, and I know I can use a tablet for patterns, and I keep hearing about Pattern Keeper, but it's kind of like books for me. Like there's something about having the paper copy, and then it's easy to just grab my bag and go. So anyways, I take PDF patterns and I print them off. Probably if I tried Pattern Keeper, I would love it. I'm sure I would. But for now, this is what I like. So anyways, I printed this off. I've gotten the banner done before. My goal this week is to get this little greenery done. Actually, I don't think I'll get that done this week, but even if I started that little greenery, I would be happy so that you can see it. This is a pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. They did a stitch along last year, maybe for Jolly July, that Kimberly Jolly puts on. I think that's what it was. And I never started. I just couldn't get to it. So I pulled this out over the last few months, and I finally finished the banner, which was a lot of red stitching. This is on 25 count pewter Lugana. I think it's like a bluish color. I think it's pewter Lugana. I'm using the called for DMC threads. This is another really relaxing stitch because you have all these big pieces of stitching, and it has these fun, sort of pretty take on Christmas colors. And so if I even start this greenery band, I'll be happy this week. That will get me at least I'm still moving on this piece, and it's not just kind of sitting around in a drawer. So those are my WIP progress that I hope to get done this week, and then I'm going to have a new start. So next week is Valentine's Day, and I thought I needed a Valentine's present, so I got myself one. First of all, let me just say something about this bag. This is the Stitch Quarterly from Fat Quarter Shop. I started this from the beginning. This is the July one. It had a little flag stitch with it. They're so cute, and it's a really nice size, so I just kind of reuse them. Even though this isn't this would be great if this was a 4th of July stitch in this bag, and it's not, but it's fine. I will survive. So this is my Valentine's present to myself. I'm going to start the Plum Street Sampler Sweetheart Hill. I see a few people doing this on Instagram, and it looks gorgeous. And I see a few people talk about this house is kind of hard. There's lots of it. There's another one with the house. There's lots of it that I'm going to show you in just a minute. But I actually, these big pieces of stitching are really relaxing to me. Like these are great evening, put on a show and just sort of like maybe do the border and fill in maybe the windows so that you don't have to think too much about it. So I'm very excited about this. I will probably start this next Saturday. I have a 3-day weekend next weekend for President's Day. So I'm going to take full advantage. I did get the Classic Colorworks. I do not think I made any substitution. It calls for Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. So like for example, here's Flatfish Weeks Dye Works that it calls for. It has this, this is the house, this beautiful holly berry. Lots of great pinks. There's persimmon. Let's see, these light pinks are really pretty. Cobbled peach. So I picked these up at my local needlework shop, the Stitch Niche, and they had everything I needed. So it was great. I'm pausing because I sort of remember them not having one thing, but I think I found it in another project and I had plenty left over. And she helped me pick, this was stitched on Weeks Dye Works. No, it wasn't. It was stitched on 36 count vintage beeswax by R&R Production. And when I went to get this at my local needlework shop, I said, oh, I would like to do this call for beeswax. And there were some women sitting there and they just started laughing. They were like, we all want beeswax, apparently. So, you know, I'm kind of new to the linen world. So I didn't realize that there was a shortage of all of this linen fabric, and I can see why. Like this is a perfect, pretty neutral. This isn't beeswax, but it was as close as she could get me. This is Zweigart Platinum 40 count. So this is going to be this is going to be a challenge piece for me for sure, because it's 40 count and it's on linen, but I'm excited because this is a beautiful piece of fabric. And I don't know, I just think stitching these little sweethearts will be so much fun, seeing them there on the hill. I will say I ordered the chart off of Etsy, and I'm gonna put, I think her Etsy store was called JensStitchingNiche or something like that. I'm gonna link it because it was fast, and shipping was fairly cheap. So anyhow, my local needlework shop didn't have the chart, so I was like, well, I'll just go find it on Etsy, and I did, and she was great. It was great customer service, fast shipping, and so, you know, all the things we need from shops. So that was great. That will be my new start. I'll start that over the weekend. So that's a lot of stitching. I don't know how far I'll get on all that, but I'm always hopeful that I'll have plenty of time. So I want to show you some new things that I got in this week. So like I said, Renee in the comments last week told me about fire poppies, and I've also heard about fire poppies from Nicole's Needlework. I'm just looking for the package here. Nicole's Needlework. Oh, her beautiful samplers. I'm sure you all know about her because I'm the new one here. But anyways, if you go watch her, Nicole's Needlework, if you Google Flosstube and that title, she will come up. All that to say, Renee talked about fire poppies, and I've heard of Nicole and Nicole's Needlework talk about fire poppies. So I ordered, and look, I put this video up last Sunday. Maybe Renee commented on Monday. Maybe I ordered this on Tuesday. I'm in Texas. They are in Somerville, South Carolina, and I already have this. It came in yesterday while I was camping, and I got home and I was so excited. So first of all, great choice of, oh, I probably shouldn't put my address up. So great choice of envelope. It's like eye-catching. I was so excited when I saw it. Then let me tell you, I emailed them and I said, I want to do Winter Rose Manor. Do you have the supplies for it? I just want to do what's called for. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the woman emailed back immediately. And she said, we don't have all the supplies, because I think this is another one that was on R&R. I think it called for Brenda's Brew on R&R, and you know, nobody has this right now because of the fabric and floss shortage. and it calls for mostly classic color works, which they didn't have all of them, but they helped me make substitutions. So she emailed back and forth a few times, kind of figured out what my goals were, and then she said, how about this? And it looked great. So this is called for 36 count Brenda's Brew linen by R&R Reproductions. So they substituted for me Winter Brew by R&R, 40 count. Again, it's going to be fine. All these 40 count projects, all these very detailed 40 count projects, it's going to be great. This is a beautiful piece of fabric. So Winter's Brew, and it looks really close. And even if it's not perfectly close, it's going to be beautiful. So she got that for me, and they just got the shipment in, so that was nice. Then on the thread that they didn't have, she did a conversion for me, and she wrote them here, and I'll do a blog post with them. I'll put it here, but I'll do a blog post with the conversions. Like, for example, roasted marshmallow, she substituted out roasted marshmallow, gentle art, she substituted out classic color works, wild oats. I probably won't be able to pull it that fast. Ah, yes. The other thing she mentioned, which I wouldn't have thought about without her asking, and so I really appreciate her doing that. She said some people have been switching out the house instead of doing, I think it calls for conch, which is peachy. She said some people have been doing a pink, and she said if you want to do that, I recommend Meredith's pink, which this is hard to say. There's a lot of variegation in this too, so I'm excited about how that house is going to turn out. And I do want it to be more pink than peach. And so I'm glad she suggested that. And so that kind of customer service. Oh, and there's one other thing. When I open this up, and it's these little things like this that will just make me giddy, and it's ridiculous, and I know it, but I can't help myself. There's a Charleston Chew vanilla candy in here. So, I mean, just a little touch. She didn't have to do that, but she did. She went above and beyond, so I really appreciate that. And I think I'm going to start this in March. I think I'm going to give this as a gift to my stepmother. So there's a cardinal here, and my stepmother lost her mom, my step-grandmother, a few years ago, which was really hard on her. And she said, my grandmother loved cardinals. And then there's the saying, when you see a cardinal, it may be someone, it's someone you love, who is someone you loved who is past, who's visiting you. And my stepmom will say that when she sees a cardinal. And so I thought that would be a nice thing to give her. And her mom is the person who taught me how to cross stitch. So if anybody would appreciate cross stitching, it is certainly her. So I think I will start this on her birthday, which is next month. And then, whenever I finish it, which frankly, it'll take me a while. And I'm sure it'll be a nice challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. It's such a beautiful piece. I've seen people do this on Instagram, and it turns out gorgeous. I watched Lori Holt's Flosstube, her most recent Flosstube, and she did this, and she framed it in this beautiful frame. And so I want to do something very similar to that, maybe a frame that matches my stepmom's house. So anyhow, I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Renee, for suggesting Fire Poppies. Renee also suggested Hobby Work Needle House. I think I'll put it in the link below, and don't worry, I'll test them out as well for you. I'll order something from them so I can just tell you. I'll be a test case, so I can tell you how that worked out. The next thing, I showed this last week. This is a new piece I'm starting February 28th. It is a stitch along with Evelyn Across the Pond and Georgia Stitching Girl, and I'll link them below as well. They're starting the Madame Chantilly spring. No, they're starting the winter tier trays. I'm going to do the stitch along, but I'm going to do spring, because even though I just ordered this beautiful winter rose manor, I don't want to do any more winter stitching. I want to do spring stitching. I want it to be warm. So I have this PDF I want to tell you, so these charts are actually hard to find. I was surprised. My local general, I even looked at Fire Poppies to see if I could order from there, and they didn't have them. So I went on to Madame Chantilly. She's the designer. I went onto her Etsy shop and and Evelyn across the pond suggested just ask to, maybe I should be showing this side, I don't know. Ask to do a PDF. And she got back very quickly to me and said, yes, she takes the time. You see this yellow here? She puts your name and address on it so that it's like she basically gives you a single license to use it. And this is a substantial stitch. This is a big piece. So I am going to stitch this on flax, another 40 count. I mean, I guess when I jump in, I jump all the way in. Very beautiful. The call for is raw Edinburgh linen by Zweigart, and I couldn't find that anywhere. So again, my local needlework shop, the Stitch Niche helped me find flax, and it's a nice, good sort of neutral linen. So I will start that on February 28th when the sale starts. And I'm using the call for DMC. I didn't have rings, so I ordered some, which I'll show you in just a minute. And so I'm missing just a few of the DMC. So I'll just run up to Michael's and grab the few. So some of this was already in my stash, which was fantastic. The other new start that I'll have this month, so not this week, but probably the week after, is the March Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this, I'm never going to be able to do this justice, but I'm excited because these are little, let me move it, little rainbows. There's little leprechauns. I showed you my linen already for that, and then here are the Classic Colorworks that, ooh, it's kind of a tangled mess, I'm sorry. Sometimes people put theirs up and it's so pretty, and mine just look like, I don't know, it's kind of like my life. But anyhow, they're so pretty, and we have everything we need for the whole series, so I love that. So I will start that before February ends. I don't know when before February ends. And so that's all my new stuff. I will show you, I ordered a few things from Amazon. I use these project bags. So I ordered, I think there's 20 in here. I use size A4. I have a few of the bigger ones and a few of the smaller ones, but for the most part, size A4 works out really well for me. And I like these because I don't really have, I see some people have like a stitching corner. I don't really have that. I mean, I do have this office, which is great, but I take my stitching everywhere with me. That's kind of the reason this is called a mom in her car, because I'm always on the go. Like I took it camping. If we're driving to the store to pick up groceries, I take it with me. I know a lot of people do that, but I'm on the go. I might be stitching in here. I might be stitching in there with my kids or outside, you know, they're at the playground. And so these, I love the project bags that everybody makes. I'm sure I'll be a sucker for them and buy them someday. But for now, they're very inexpensive. So for 20 of these, I can't remember how much, but I will link below. But I want to say it was under $20. Maybe it was $20 for, I got 20 of these. They're plastic. And so if something gets on them, you just wipe it right off. They're a good size. They have a zipper so things stay in. So I just ordered a bunch of these because I'm running low. And then, as you saw, I keep my floss on these rings. Even, whether it's Classic Colorworks or not, this is what works well for me. Oh, you know what? I got a little bit smaller size of these. I just noticed. So I ordered, excuse me, I don't know how many there are, but I think this is 2-inch. This still feels like a good size to me. I mean, this is pretty big. Maybe those were 3 inches. Maybe I'll order more, who knows. But I also, this is cute because when you get something from Amazon, you don't, I mean, we know why we order from Amazon. It's either cheaper, it's going to show up at our house quickly or what have you. But they put this little mustache sticker in it. That's just a cute little touch. So the shop is Mr. Penn on Amazon. So anyhow, I'll link his shop, or her, I don't know. It's a man. I mean, it's a mustache that said Mr., so I assumed he, but I could be wrong. I'll link their shop below as well. So the last thing I think I have for today is the giveaway. So what I decided for my giveaway is as I stitch a chart that I'm either really excited about or I fall in love with, I'm just going to order 2 instead of 1. And the idea behind this giveaway is just to add some excitement. So if I love something, I want you to love it as well. And so I decided my first chart for giveaway is the January sampler of the month. Now, this is not the chart I used. I did do the stitch. I'm ordering 2 because I want to make sure to support. I ordered a second one because I want to be sure to support the designers, right? And so I think I've seen online that you shouldn't just pass these along. I mean, you can. So I'm not here to judge anybody. So I know some people do, but just because this is a giveaway, I just want to be able to continue supporting designers and sort of be as ethical as possible about it. This is just for fun for me. I don't have a business or make money off this or anything, but I just want to add a little excitement to this channel. And so all you do is leave a comment below. One, I would like you to answer a question and then just work the word January into it somehow. So that January is the word I will search for. So in your comment, you can even just say January, but a couple things to be eligible for the giveaway. First of all, be subscribed to this channel and like, which is a pretty typical request. And then I'm just curious what you're looking for in Flosstube. So the good and the bad, like I don't like it when Flosstubers do this. I do like it when they do that. Or I haven't seen this and I wish I would see it. Or a tip or trick, like many of you left me last time. So either one of those are fine. And then just put January, that's what I'll search for. And then I'll announce the winner next week and have a second chart to give away. So I think that is all for today. Just another thank you so much again for all the kind, supportive comments. I really appreciate it. And that's it. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.